Hello everyone. So in our last video, that was the second video, we looked at how to create layers within Illustrator, how to come up with the different layers that are going to be animated in either Premiere Pro or After Effects, as we continue with our design to make it a PNG video that we would submit to this person who is basically going to be making a video, because he needs a video that has no background, because most of the times when he's posting his videos he uses phone apps. So he would need to have a video that is basically advertising for our projects, for our client, okay, in a way that he would just drag and place it there in his app, then he squeezes it a little by scaling, and he happens to obtain whatever he wants. So now we are going to involve Photoshop. Okay, so we are now going to be involving Photoshop to see that we have something that is incredibly wonderful, so that we come up with images. So let us rename this as machines with no BG, that is background. So without background. So whatever image that we finish to remove the background in our Photoshop, we are going to be saving it in the other folder that I've formed on the desktop. Then after saving it there, we are going to be putting it to Illustrator to create other layers on this panel here, so that we may have text, we may have the images and that stuff. Okay, so that is what I'm going to be basically looking at. Okay, so let us be together as we go through this video. So stay and remember to subscribe and be part of this channel, and you click on that bell notification button in order to do not miss out any video that we happen to release. Okay, because as a designer you need to be updating yourself in all ways to see that you come up with something that is best, something that is incredible. So stay with me and we'll look at this. Okay, so if we go, I happen to download some images, as you see them here, showing the different things that these people deal with. Okay, so they deal in hit BizHub, press, this that. So basically these are what they deal in. Okay, so that was my client. I did have photography, so I'm not in need of that image. So we come here, so we need Photoshop. So if we go back here, get this. Okay, so I'm going to be following them in order. So if I get them from the top one, I click shift and click on the last one down, then right click and say rename, and I say BizHub, then enter. So it is going to give them numbers in order. So that is what I wanted. So this is just a flyer, so I would skip this one. So we are going to be going through these 15 designs. So for this one we can leave it. Is this JPEG? Yes, it is a JPEG. So if I right click on it, let me start with this one. I'll be right clicking on it, then copy. So I'm going to be putting it in my folder on the desktop that I created. That is the desktop where I created machines with no background. I would not need to change that. So when I go back to this one, right click, then get open with Photoshop. So if I get this, the quick selection tool, let it first load. Paints, custom brushes. So I want the quick selection tool. It is here. Quick selection tool, not the magic wand. I see that. I just want briefly to. So this quick selection tool selects stuff that is basically under the same. That would be the same brightness, the same contrast. So if we have to make sure that we first have this, then we double click on this so it goes off this padlock, or Ctrl Z, cancel this, or Ctrl Z, so we can get it, click on it, hold and drag, then we'll drop it in the dustbin. So now we'll go back to our quick selection tool, then we press delete, and after that we click Ctrl D or edit, and that is I want to remove this selection that I made. A Ctrl D does it better. So after that we come and click file, then we go to save as. When we go to save as, we come back our desktop. Remember, we formed a folder where we are going to be saving everything. That is a PNG, so we save it as a PNG. Okay, high quality. We may even make it maximum quality because it is already too smooth. So if we continue reducing it, it would be something awkward. So we are having this, and where is it coming up as a JPEG? So if I drop it here, wow. Okay, so let me try to form another layer and see to eliminate that problem. I don't know why it is coming in. Maybe I've forgotten something, but let me try to go around it. I'm wiser than it is, so I drag it and place it here, then Ctrl T, scale it, Ctrl Alt and T, so scale it. Then I come here and say save as. Then when I get there, maybe because it is too small, so to a PNG. Did I the other time select a PNG? I don't recall properly. So let me give it to, then click that. Maybe I selected image, because if I go back and delete this, so if I delete this and create a solid, we want to see the understanding of a PNG. Get this. Get this. Ctrl Z. Get this. So if I come and get a solid here, that is a rectangle shape. If I make shape here, Jesus Christ, why is it? So like that. Then I give it a fill that is bright. Then I get my image that I've exported. Maybe because it is too small. Don't know. Ctrl Z. Then with Photoshop you have to Ctrl Z Alt. Ctrl Z. So with this version it works with the Ctrl Z. So that is what I was having. So if I remove this background, why isn't it giving me? So it is a PNG now. It is a PNG now, so we'll continue to the other one. So we are done with that one. So we get this other one, that is this. So but since we are going to be placing them on something that is yellow, we would want them maybe over white. We would want them to be shouting out. I think they're okay. We may not change the background, I believe. So in case of any changes, we may team up with Photoshop and we see that we create differences. So if we happen to go back, to our software, that is Illustrator, and we would want to have a layer, we'll bring it at the top. So we want to have this. So what I'm basically going to be doing, I'm going to put this, have a copy of it, and Control Shift V, and I place it on that layer. So after that, I'm going to be switching off this because I have to have already come up with a script I want to be following. So if I have this background, then I rename this new info. I say info 2. So this on another display, it will come towards the end. So I click and drag it holding Shift to move it in a straight line. So I'm going to be giving, and it would not even be this. Maybe I squeeze this one a little bit. Okay. Then from there, from squeezing it, the space here is too much. So if I go back to my text here, so if I get this, I make sure, let me see if it can happen without having selected. Are you seeing that? So the distance between these two words reduces or increases. When I click this, it increases. When I click this, it reduces. So I try to reduce it, then extend this a little bit. Okay, then drag it to the bottom. So after that, I'm giving examples. Okay, so I'm going to be listing the different tools here. Okay, the different machines, toners, like that. As this is playing, then I also bring in the phone numbers. Okay, sorry. So I bring in the phone numbers, tell 1 and 2. So if I get these two and drop them in the new layer, so I have those two, then I drag them up somewhere there. So I'm going to be renaming them let me call them SEO contacts 1, then contact 2. Do not confuse them with the first one. Contact 1, because I'm like going to make them vary a little bit in maybe scale. So if I have them like that, so if I select both of them, hold shift and drag them like that. So now I want to be using this space, okay, to submit in the other stuff, the toners, the different machines. So I'm going to be getting this. Let us start with this first one. Then, but before maybe we would add in those, let me see the time. So before maybe we add in anything more than that, okay, let us add in what I was like looking at is time. How many minutes have we so far consumed and traveled? So if I go back, get this machine, bring it here to Illustrator. So we would leave it at this, okay, but we wouldn't have started with these. Let us go for machines like these ones. Now here's why we need to have them with no background. Say this one appears to be a PNG. Let me hope it is as it says. So are you saying it is having a certain background? So it means we have to go back and change those backgrounds. Let us start with this one. Are you seeing? So with this one, now I can place it here. So besides that, I want after to remove these X's crossing across. I press that. Remember, I want to keep it as simple as possible. So I call this Control X. So maybe I bring it in the middle because I don't want it to be too congested. Then have this, okay, because this is the center of emphasis. Maybe I enlarge it a little bit and move it up. Then some of, when we are respecting the principles of design, there are some things we have to respect, okay, like space. So we give it space, we give it, so we cut it now, Ctrl XZ and place it there, Ctrl Shift V, and we call this, that is layer what, machine 1. Okay, so remember, we don't want to keep this too busy, but we want it to be like seen and noticed by buyers and people that may be in need of this stuff. So if we have that, that is our machine 1. Are you seeing? So just imagine this pops up and that machine comes in a few seconds, another machine pops up. So we go back, get another machine So for that time we used this one. Okay, so now we want to at least maybe have this one and this one. So we get this, right click on it, go there, then open up in Photoshop. So when we get it to Photoshop, we are going to come here. Then from there we go get our quick selection tool. Just do that, and we get alt. Then I don't want it to be eaten up. So again, and shade this away, then after that we have to first make sure that padlock is off, then cancel, then we delete. Now we are remaining with this ground level, so we may leave that as the shadow, and if we don't want it, so that is when we scale and go down, then get our pen tool, where are you? This one here. So we come, get here, then come here, get this. Okay, so we go back this side because we want to cut across all of this part. We get here, then we come and just do that, hold there, create a curve like that, so we come here and also come here. So if you need to study or learn graphics designing, please contact me. I can teach you, I can offer you some guidance. Okay, then from there, that is path, then selection. So I don't want to feather. Okay, let me feather it a little bit, not to be rough, maybe something like 6 then. Okay, then after that I delete, then Ctrl D. So are you saying, so now we don't have anything down. Then from there we click File, Save As, and we come here and save as a PNG. We go to our folder on the desktop. Okay, desktop, where are you? There, where we said machines with no background. So we call this one 3. So we save it. Okay, then we go back to our Illustrator, then go back to our desktop. It has saved now. So we drag and bring it here. Okay, we press not enter, we come here and press embed. So to remove the lines that were crossing these lines, because if you leave in these lines, they get to appear in your final design. So you click embed, then hold one of the corners. So whenever you're using your mouse, look at this. Okay, your mouse, how is it looking? The moment it is like a spear and you bring it somewhere here, remember we are in the selection tool, we are using Illustrator. The moment you bring it here, the arrow changes to pointing down and up. So we click as we are holding our mouse, we select a shift and alt on our keyboard, then we scale down as you release and see. Okay, so like that. like that, like that. So if I scale this, so it has to sit somewhere there. So I'm going to be placing this. Okay, I'm going to be placing that. Maybe I need a ruler to guide me on where they shouldn't exceed. So we have that one. So besides that, you can also give it a shadow simply by coming to Effects, Stylize, then you come to that. First look at it. It means we have to reduce this to at least maybe 75, then to 10, and also this maybe to also 10. So like that. So are you seeing that then? Click that. Are you seeing that? So now we have that. So remember, we delete this. We don't want it now. So we are like thinking of what we are putting. So we call this. We called the other one machine 1. That is it. So for this one, we are going to be calling it machine shift. We are going to be calling this one. Okay, delete it. We are going to be calling it machine 2. So now we Control Shift V. Are you seeing that? So now it is well placed. So for the first machine, it like filled up well every like space. Okay, let us again reduce it a little bit when we pull it down. Then we come to Effects, then apply drop shadow to retain the other settings that we put on the second machine. So we just press on this one. So we have that and that. So for this one, since it is a little bit in a portrait format, not in the landscape format, we can add there another machine, okay, that we may think of. Okay, so if we go back and get another machine that is like, so now we've at least, okay, let us try to get another machine. Should I get this one? I think they're in the same category. So if we open this with Illustrator, so if I drag it, then I place it here and I place it somewhere there. So then I use my quick selection tool. Then when it comes to this part where it is entering inside, I use my Alt to subtract. So there I'm going to be using a pen tool. I first make sure my padlock is off by clicking on it, then I delete this. Now I click Ctrl D and Ctrl plus to zoom this in and move it like that, then upwards. So I go get my pen tool my pen tool, where are you? Here. Then I do that. Okay. I get this. So if you're out there and you want to learn graphics, contact me. Okay. So if we have this, then you make sure that this is a path, not a shape, because with the shape you will draw the solid that would even change color. So I make a selection, keep this feather the same, then I delete that, then Control D, deselect, then go to save as, and to our desktop, then machines with num background, I change this to PNG, I call it 4. So the moment I save it like that, so it is now saved. So I click on my folder, go for number 4, drag it, place it there, then bring it inside. So why isn't it showing up? So it was it. So let me go back and get it again. So that is it. So I place it there. Depending on this one, let me get a ruler, drop it there, and it should fit within those two. So that is somewhere maybe there. Like that. So I get it somewhere there. Then I do this, then extend this a little bit, this side, then the same thing here, giving them a little bit of space, then scale this a little bit more down, then drag it downwards, clicking on the arrows on your keyboard, that is what I'm using. Then after that I embed it to remove the excess, then effect and apply drop shadow. So after applying that drop shadow, now these are the two machines I've placed there. So this is machine on our layer here, so it is our machine 3, though the other side it is machine 4, so we rename it here. So are you seeing that these are two different machines? So I'm going to be putting this off, and I'll be coming back after like designing, after like removing the backgrounds of all other machines and assembling them on this channel. Okay, so endeavor to see that you subscribe to the MUCIAN lifestyle channel, where we happen to share as graphics designers, videographers, creatives, and you do not miss out anything new, something incredible, or something that you've been asking yourself on how to do it, on how to come up with it. And those who would want to learn graphics, video editing, animation, that is 2D animation and 3D modeling and animation, so endeavor to see that you contact me, endeavor to see that you call me on the numbers in the description of this video, or even should I write my numbers that you could use? Okay, you visit the description of this video. These numbers you happen to see here are basically numbers of this company that I'm working for right now. So unless you want printers, don't call them. Okay, so in the description of this video, contact me via those phone numbers that you happen to see, or my email. Okay, then, or even WhatsApp. That is let me put it here. That is let me get this, scale it a little bit for you to easily see them. That is a plus 256 70 17 779. So with that number you can contact me on WhatsApp, and another one is a plus 256 782 10 85 49. So we can talk via WhatsApp if at all you need some guidance, and if at all you need to be helped on anything to deal with the creative industry, whether music, whether movies, whether films, whether anything that is basically digital. You can contact me, consult me at a small fee. Thanks for watching, and thanks for having subscribed to the MUCIAN lifestyle. Let's meet in the next video as we advance and prepare, then arrange our stuff for animation in After Effects. Thank you for watching.